it became clear to me that I despise you entirely. But the good news is I'm gonna keep you around, and so your lust is just convenient now. Crack open a bottle of red.
Hey guys, Tim here, Geekedupgaming Review Group, and I want to show you guys a review of a little game called Love Letter. Most of you have played this game, a lot of people have played this game, and this game is really cool. Basically what you're doing is you're trying to win over the heart of the princess. I kept calling her a queen, but she's not a queen, she's a princess. And some of the characters' names that we have are like a guard, a handmaid, countess, prince, priest, baron, princess, obviously, the king, and the handmaid. Okay, so, and what you're doing is you're going to hold one card in your hand, and you're going to try to eliminate the other players. So let's go ahead and I'll show you guys the components of the game, and then I'll show you a small tutorial on how to play, which will probably be a little difficult because there's only one of me, but we'll make it work as we have in the past. So let's go ahead and head on over to the bag and show you guys all the little goodies we're going to get inside of it. So here's the bag, which I can actually face that to you guys so you guys can see this. I don't know why I spun that around. Anyways, this is the bag that Love Letter comes in. It actually comes, the bag will actually come in a plastic casing, and then you pop it open and then this is what it's in. And I got rid of the plastic casing and just kept the bag, because that's really all you need. Now as far as the cards, they don't wear down quickly because they're low quality. They wear down because we play the crap out of it. Like on the edges, they're starting to wear out. So that is why I have this game in sleeves. And if you guys watch any of our other videos, you'll notice I don't use sleeves a lot. So this is a very rare occasion that I've put sleeves on my cards. These cards still don't have any sleeves. These are what your count of each card is going to be, and I'll explain that in actually the gameplay. And then you have these little cubes, and they're going to represent who won each round. And then the cards, you're going to have the guard. Now what the guard's going to do is it says name a non-guard card, so you can guess what somebody else has, but you can't say guard. There are 5 guards in the deck. If I remember correctly, I can at least tell you guys that there is 5 cards. Guess a player's hand. Basically, that's all it is. And the number up here is the value that it is. So if it comes down to 2 players left, you would go by the value, and whoever has the highest will win. Then we have the handmaid. She is 4. She's protected until next turn. So if you play this out in front of you, then it'll go all the way around and back to you, and then the card is no longer any use. The countess, if you have this card, and it says right here, if you have this card in and the king or prince in your hand, you must discard this card. So a lot of times I'll actually have the princess, which is the highest card, instead of the countess, or countess, I'm sorry. Countess. Little Gears of War there, countess. For the countess, and she's a 7. The only thing higher than that is a princess. So sometimes when I have the princess and I have a king or a prince, I'll discard the king or prince, and then they'll think I have a countess. So there's only 3 selections, 4. They'll have 4 cards to choose from at that point. Do they think I have a countess? Do they think I have a princess? Do I have another? Do I have a prince? Or do I have a king? Well, if I discard the king, or if I discard the prince, then they would only have the other 3 cards to guess from. Well, actually they would only have 1 card. They would probably 2 cards they would guess. They would either have I had the princess because I'm bluffing, or the countess because she requires me to get rid of the prince or king. And speaking of prince, we have him, and he's a 5, and 1 player discards his or her hand. So you would play this, choose someone, and then they would have to discard the hand. And then if they discard the princess, which you'll see on her card, it says if discarded, that they lose. Anyways, this is the priest. It is a 2. And you can look at another player's hand. The Baron, a lot of people like playing the Baron. Compare hands, lower hand is out. And I've had some people, they play the Baron thinking that they're going to use the 3, you're actually going to use the card that's still in your hand against the other person. So sometimes they get played wrong. Okay, and I think we have to show you the king and the princess, and that is it. So we will do the king real quick. And he is a 6, and this, you will play him down, and then you would trade hands with someone. Now the princess, you will never want to play the princess. If you are ever forced to discard her, you do lose automatically. So, now that I've shown you guys all the cards, let's go ahead and I will set up a 3-4 player game and show you guys how it would work. Alright, so to start the game, you're going to have these blocks here. And these are only used at the end of each round to mark who won the round. So you can just put those where everyone can reach them. And let me shuffle these real quick. And what you're going to do is you're going to distribute them to each player. And then you set the deck wherever everyone can reach it. And so let's say I go first, and I have 1 card. I get to draw a card, so now I have 2 in my hand to choose from what I want to play. So, what I would do is I have the Baron and the Guard. Now these two, the Guard is going to allow me to guess what each person has. Not each, but guess one of my other opponents. The Baron, if I play him, he's going to go down, and then I would compare my hand to everyone else. Now I don't want to play the Baron because I only have a 1 in my hand right now. So that would be a bad idea. So let's go ahead and say, I'm going to play the Guard. And then my Baron will stay in my hand. And I guess that this person has a handmaid. And the reason I guess that is because a handmaid can protect you. So if I get rid of the people with a handmaid, they just happen to have a handmaid, they are now eliminated. So that would go to discard, and we can just go ahead and make discard right here. We can keep everything on the film camera here. So now that person's out. This card has been played, so we go ahead and just put it here. And what you'll do is you keep all the numbers exposed so everyone knows what's already been played, and then it becomes a memory and how many cards are still left, how many cards are in the deck, what could be out here on the table. And you start counting the cards and everything else. So if you're good at counting cards, there you go. So it would be this person's turn. They would draw. The 2 cards they have is a priest and a countess. Now a priest will allow them to look at any other player's hands. And the countess, the only way that you would want to play her is if you had a king or a prince. And you wouldn't want to play her right now because she's a 7. That's a really high card. So let's say they go ahead and they play the priest. They're going to look at this person's hand. So they have a prince, which I should have had them look at my hand so that I didn't know what that was. So, but anyways, we're just showing you anyway, kind of a rough how to play. So now it would be this person's turn. I guess I was going to see it anyway. They have the prince, and then they're going to draw a card. They also have a baron. So let's say that this person, since they have a higher card, play the baron. Well, the baron says that they have to show hands. I don't even remember what I had. So let's go ahead and say that they compare their prince to my baron. I would be out of the game. So now it's only down to these 2. Now it would be this other player's turn. They now have a countess and a guard. Well, we can see that there's 2 barons been played, so they're all gone. A priest, a guard, and a handmaid. This guard would most likely say, or if I was this player, and usually the people I play with, do you have a handmaid? No, he's got the prince. So then it would just go to the next person. Now he's got both princes. So now he has to play against this card, which is the Countess that we know. So he has to play Prince. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope. That's the Baron that compares hands. So the Prince, choose any player, including yourself, to discard his or her hand and draw a new card, which is a good thing to have because she could have a high card, which she does. So she must discard and then draw a new card. Now it's their turn. They will draw a second card, and they have a priest and a guard. Now they'll probably want to play the priest because they have a guard to call out what it will be. The priest will allow them to look at the hand, so they find out he's got the other prince. So this player will draw, and then this player should be smart enough to play their guard, not the prince. And I saw the card before I flipped it over, that's why I knew what it was. But then that's the guard. So they would be like, they should play their prince, because then that's going to make them discard. And we'll go ahead and start another discard row here. And they're going to draw again, because that's what the prince makes them do. And then they draw another card, so they can take their turn. Now we have a king and a princess. Now the king, this is where this is going to not be all that great. Because the king, this player is going to win. Because, okay, the king says, trade hands with another player of your choice. Well, the only player of the choice is over here. Now the reason they're going to win, and I'll show you. The king has to be played. Because if you play the princess, you lose because she would be discarded. So see, the king got played. They now trade hands. So the princess is over here. Now this player knows, oh crap, I have the princess. He knows they have a guard. Now it is the princess's turn, or the player's turn, and he draws a guard. He can't guess a guard. So this is the last guard. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, there's the fifth one there. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Where's the fifth one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Okay, so he cannot guess a guard because it says guess any non-guard. So his only choice is to play the princess. But even if he picked up the handmaid, actually he would have been protected. So I would have changed. But let's say he could play something else. This person knew that they had a princess, so they would be like, do you have the princess? And because of the honesty factor, and he already knew that they had the princess, they would have won. So either way, they won. This person wins right here. So that's basically a full how to play of the game. And it's completely different when I actually have people to play with. And hopefully I can bring you guys a video of how to play that. And then, I forgot to tell you this, you'll get a note. And basically what this red cube represents is that you were the last person to win over the princess's heart. So you will begin the next round. The first person to 3 of these wins the game. Sometimes we play more, like we'll just get more markers and make it a longer game. And actually, I think it's, you can play it a 3, 4, whatever you want it to be. But that's how you play. So we'll go ahead and shoot over to what I think of the game. Okay, so my thoughts on the Love Letter. This is a great game. I know we got it for free, but this is definitely a game that I would pay for. I actually thought about getting another copy because my cards, the photos and the flip sides of the cards are fine. It's the edges that are starting to wear out, and I had to sleeve them. And as you guys know that watch my videos, this is the only game that I own that has sleeves on the cards. Unless I'm doing a print and play preview, I'll have sleeves on those, but only because that gives me something to hold the cards and not the paper. Yeah, but this is a really, really cool game. If you guys are fans of, and let me finish saying what I'm going to say before you say, well, that's not right. If you're a fan of like Resistance or Coup, or which I just played Coup, that was a really cool game. Anyways, Resistance, Coup, Battlestar Galactica, games like that. This is this is like the beginning stage of those type of games. This is like your warm up, social deduction, guess who I am type of game, and then you can go into the deeper games. If your group does that, sometimes we just jump into the deep one. We don't do a warm up, but some groups do warm ups because it's nice. It's to get your brain going, and then get into the deep games. If you're not familiar with Battlestar Galactica or Resistance or Coup, there's also another Resistance, but it's made by the same creators, but it's like a medieval type, and I haven't played that one, so it may be a little different than Resistance, but it's about the same idea. It may be the same game, just a different theme, which I was gonna buy it, but I didn't because I already have Resistance, the regular one. So, yeah, but Love Letter is definitely a game worth having in your library, and it takes up no space. It's this little baggie. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's perfect. And then the cubes actually have their own little baggie, which I showed you that, and it's kind of nice. And if you guys don't have, if these get lost somehow, I mean, just a pencil and paper is fine too. But I mean, it's a really cool game. And the rule book, you can play 2 players. I don't know if it actually says what's recommended to play. I recommend that you do play with 4, because that's the best that it plays at. Me and Anna, we played it with 2. It actually says if you're playing a 2-player game, take 3 more cards from the top of the deck and place them to the side face up. They will not be used during this round. So basically it's like eliminating 3 cards out of the game, which is most likely going to be one of those is going to be a guard, because there's 5 out of the whole deck. So now we've played 2 people, but I do think it plays optimal at 4. 5, that's too many people. If you wanted to play more people, I would get 2 copies and smash them together. And which is funny, just smash them up. But anyways, I actually just thought about that. That's why I thought it was funny. You just take 2 copies of this and just slam them together, and there you go. You can play 8 people. But you just have to remember there's 2 princesses in there, which I don't know if that would really work. So yeah, I would probably keep it at 4 people. But anyways, it's a really cool game. We enjoy playing it. My dad, he loves playing this game. When you play with him, you can see the wheels turn, and he's always trying to find out who's being the deviant, just liar. Or, well, in this game there's really no liar. You have to apply by the honesty rule. But this is a fantastic, really fun game. I learned it last Gen Con, and that's when we got it. It was last Gen Con, 2013. And I've had a lot of fun with it. And you guys, obviously I had to sleeve the cards. That's the first game I've ever sleeved, so that's when I sleeve my cards, when they have wear on them. Like Pathfinder, probably could use sleeves, but that's too many cards. That's not worth my money putting it on there. If it really gets bad enough, I'll just buy another copy of Pathfinder, if it gets that bad. But yeah, the game's really cool. You guys should go get a copy of it. It should be almost every game store, and if you don't want the pouch or you want a box, you can get the box and be boring. But you know, get the pouch. Be exciting. Be different. You know, just have that unique little game. Hey, what's this red pouch? And it's going to attract people's eyeballs when they come to your house, and they're like, what's this little baggie on your library? And you'd be like, oh, that's a love letter, you have to play it. So, Love Letter is an AEG game. It is 2 to 4 players. I think it's fantastic at 4. I think it's okay. I think it works well with 3, but I don't recommend playing it with 2 players. We do when we're waiting in Gen Con in the hallway. It's pocket size. If it's in one of your, I know most of you guys wear cargo pants. There you go. Just pull it out of your knee pocket and play it. So, anyways, I'm Tim, Geeked Up Gaming Review Group, and this is Love Letter.
In one fell swoop it became clear to me that I despise you entirely. But the good news is I'm gonna